Hello everyone, this is part 3 of Foundation Engineering Unit 5 Copper Dam and Foundation on Black Cotton Soils. So there are several construction techniques in black cotton soil. So very first method, complete or partial replacement of black cotton soil, means we can remove the black cotton soil from construction site completely or partially. Second method, location of foundation below the depth of no volume change. So we can construct our foundation at the depth where volume of soil can't be changed. It means it can't be shrink or can't be expand. The third method, the drainage measures and prevention of wilting. So in this method our drainage of soil should be proper and there should be prevention of the wilting. And fourth method is stiffening of structural component, means in this method we can stiffen the structural component using RCC band or reinforced brickwork or some other method. Construct the crack proof design. Then the fifth method is rigid design. So in this method we can design the foundation in such a way that there should be the maximum stability of foundation and the minimum settlement. The sixth method is the flexible design. In this design we can use the mortar and mud mortar for the walls, which will be make structure flexible and permit large movement without damage. The brick construction can be tolerate much higher different settlement compared to the concrete member. There are some construction techniques on the black cotton soil or expansive soil. So there are number of techniques like ramp pile, stone column, vibro flotation, preloading. So we can start very first from under ramp pile. What is under ramp pile? It is like a regular pile, but here as per this figure there are two ram portion or these bulb portions indicated in this figure, and this is called the ram portion or under ram portion. In this figure two under ram portions are there. So what is a ram pile? The under ram pile developed by the CBRI Roorkee and are commonly used in India for foundation in expansive soil. The under ram pile foundation are quite suitable for expansive soils. These piles anchor the structure to a suitable soil mass well below the unstable soil, which is subjected to ground movement because of seasonal change. Means we know that whenever there is any moist season like a rainy season or in summer season, in summer season soil gets shrink and in rainy season it get increase in volume. So due to that there is maybe stability of structure get change. So the unstable zone is the same as the active zone, which is defined as the depth of expansive soil in which the periodic changes of moisture content occur to cause swelling and shrinkage. The depth of active zone is normally 3 to 4 meter at the most of places in India. The pile are thus seated up a good bearing strata. So whenever there is a always active zone, so in that case this under ram pile is suitable. Then design principle of under ram piles. To start this design principle, first we should understand this figure. So here there is this is the diameter of this under ram pile. This is du, means the diameter of the under ram portion, and at the last this is the end bearing portion, and this is layer 1, layer 2, and whenever there are set some design principle. We should remember this figure. So what are the principle? The underream pile should satisfy the bearing capacity and settlement criteria like all the piles. In addition to the conventional design requirements, it should satisfy the following criteria. What are these criteria? Very first criteria is minimum length of the pile is in the deposit of the expansive soil should be 3 to 5 meter below the ground surface. So that underream portion or this pile is minimum 3 to 5 meter below the ground surface. The diameter of bulb is taken 2 to 3 times of the shaft diameter. Means this is a DU portion is 2 to 3 times as compared to this pile portion D. Then the third principle, the vertical spacing between the two bulbs should not be less than 1.5 times of the bulb diameter for the pile up to 30 centimeter diameter. Means this spacing between these two, means if we have to provide two underream portions, in that case that length or the spacing between these two should be 1.5 times of this DU. The fourth principle that we have to remember, that is minimum horizontal spacing of the pile should be 2 times of the bulb diameter under normal loading. The maximum spacing should not be exceed 2.5 meter to avoid the pile cap problems. So this is very important. Number 5, fifth principle, that is the depth of the topmost bulb from the ground surface should be least 2 times of the bulb, and this depth should be not be less than 1.75, and it is indicated in the figure. The sixth principle, the piles are connected to their top by a RCC plane beam, or it is called a grade beam, which supports the superstructure. Means everywhere that plane beam is important, and there should be an air gap of about 8 centimeter below the lower surface of the plane beam and the ground surface. A granular material like sand or gravel is filled in the gap to permit the swelling of the soil. Why this is required? Because we know that whenever there is expansive soil, there is always shrinkage or expansion happen in moist and dry season. So to bridge that gap or to protect this structure from the damage, there should be always gap of 8 centimeter from the surface and that lower surface of the beam. Then construction techniques of underream pile. So here our theory part is discussed, but if we look at the figure, it is very clear that very first we start the boring. Then whenever we completed this boring at this portion, at the end the underream tool is used to excavate this part. After excavating this part, then the inspection is there, and after inspection the mesh, reinforced mesh is inserted here, and after inserting this mesh the concreting is started, and from the below with the help of compactor and this concreting equipments, we can fill or pour this part with the concrete. Once concreting is completed, curing should be there regularly. So in construction, for the borehole deeper than 3.5 meter and also for the boreholes larger than 30 centimeter diameter, the portable hoist with the manual operation winches is used to handle equipment. The longitudinal reinforcement and the shear stirrups are provided in underream piles as in the case of RCC column of the building. After the completion of borehole, the reinforcement cage is lowered into it and the cement concrete is poured into the borehole. The slump of the concrete is usually kept between 70 to 150 mm, and compaction of concrete is done by rodding, and curing of concrete done as usual. Then next part or next technique to construct the foundation on the black cotton soil, that is stone column. Stone column is very popular technique. The ground improvement in the case of soft clay can be achieved by installing a stone column in it. Stone columns are constructed by making a hole in the deposit and then filling these holes with the gravel and small stones. The size of the stone used for this purpose range from about 6 to 40 mm. Stone columns have particular application in soft, inorganic, cohesive soil and are generally inserted on a volume displacement basis. The diameter of this pipe used either for the construction of the stone column depends upon the requirements. The stone column are placed in the hole pipe. The techniques of construction stone column is by making a hole in the soil deposits with the use of vibro float. So here, with the help of this figure, we can easily judge how to construct the stone column. Here in very first figure, the vibrator penetrates in the weak soil. And so this with help of vibrator, the excavation will be there. Then after completion of this drilling or desired depth, then filling of these stones are there. After filling this stone, there is a regular compaction. With help of this compaction, the stones are get spread here, and after that, at the top surface, we can fill all the stones and the stone column will be completed. The stone columns are placed 1 to 3 meter apart over the whole area. There is no theoretical procedure for predicting a combining improvements obtained. So it is a usual assume of foundation loads are carried only by the several stone columns with no contribution from the sand deposits to increase the density. Then next techniques, that is prefabricated vertical or weak drain. So geocomposites used to drain the media have completely taken over the certain geotechnical application area. Weak drain usually consisting, it shows that this is the material like a plastic which form the several drain portions, and with combination of this drain portion or these cavities, this material is formed, and this material is used under the part of the foundation. Weak drain do not require any sand to transfer the flow. Most synthetic drains are of a strip shape. The strip drain are generally 100 mm wide and 2 to 6 mm thick as shown in figure. Weak drain are installed by using a hollow lens, and the weak drains is threaded into the hollow. So there are number of commercial companies or commercial products are available for the weak drains, and they are manufactured and install that material at particular foundation types. So what are advantages of the weak drain? The very first advantage, the analytical procedure is available and the straightforward in use. The tensile strength is definitely offered to the soft soil by the installing of the weak drain. There are only nominal resistance to the flow of water if it enters to the weak drain, and construction equipments are generally small, and installment is simple and straightforward and economic. Then preloading technique. The preloading is a technique that can be successfully used to densify the soft and very soft cohesive soils. And in preloading technique, vibro flotation techniques is very popular, and this is the figure for the vibro flotation technique. So thank you.